Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we want to talk about dragons, about a clone spell, and about actually a bunch of loons. This is going to be the army which we're trying. This is actually the army which Gaku is using as well right now, and it's crazy. This army is just crazy and doing so well in Legend League, and especially against ring bases. This army is just insane. I think that's a pretty good word for this army. So I would show you guys exactly how to use this in this video and tell you all of the small things which you have to keep in mind when you're facing those top bases. But if you guys would like to support me or my channel, make sure to use my creator code, because tomorrow is going to be the new start of the new gold pass, which means all of you guys who are buying it, if you would like to support me, get your supporter creator code ITZU in there. And remember, every 7 days the code is you have to retype it in, which means if you already typed it in, double check tomorrow, please, if you're buying the new gold pass. Thank you guys so much, and let's get started with the first ring base. Because like I said, this army is completely smashing ring bases. I already did a video I think a month or 2 months ago, so it's already like a long time where I did a video about this. And what are you going for with this army? First off, you have only one clone spell. So what you're doing most of the time is 3 coconut loons, like in front of the slammer, 2 to 3 loons, and then the slammer in behind. And what you're going for is, first off, pathing. But second of all, if you can take out the building, the enemy clan castle, that is huge. Because what this does is, it denies the clan troops to come out if it's, for example, like ice golems or a lava hound. On this one, there was a witch coming out, but most likely there's going to be either a lava hound in there or a couple of ice golems. So what you're trying to do, get rid of the enemy clan castle as early as possible, because this gives you a lot of freedom with your heroes. Because all of your heroes, except the one maybe, but the other 3 heroes, all of them might lure the enemy clan castle, which is never a good thing. So the next thing what we are doing is creating a pathing for our dragons. We want our dragons to go inside. We did this already with clearing the top left corner, or the left corner of this base, but now what we have to do is clearing the bottom corner to make sure that all of the loons are going in. And how we're doing that? Well, we're using our king to tank, then in behind the queen to make sure that all of the trash buildings are gone, and then the royal champ for the second layer, for the inner layer, to make sure that all of our dragons are actually going inside. The next thing, you have to freeze. You can just freeze the sweeper, and I'm using a heal spell in this armor composition because the big problem right now for dragons at the moment, I feel like, is that they're not having enough HP to get through the back end. There's so much splash damage in the base right now with the scatter shots, and dragons tend to group up a lot, which means the scatter shots are making dragons right now a really hard time. But if you have those heal spells, it makes sure that all of the loons and the dragons can actually stay alive over the time when they're staying in the core. So this is a huge thing. You can see this is a crazy big overkill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dragons are still alive, a couple of loons. It's just crazy. So this strategy, we'll take a deeper look at this. I will try to explain more in depth on what you're going for with your Electron. Why are you using an Electron and why you're using not an Yeti Blimp, for example, and all this stuff. I will explain this in this video. But for now, we got our first triple, and I think we should actually jump into the next base and see what base this might be. If it's another ring base, it should be an easy triple. If it's something else, we take the challenge. And it is another ring base. So let's take the free triple. But once again, where are we, what are we going for? What do we want to go for? And on this one, we want to we want to obviously take care of the enemy eagle as early as possible. The eagle is a huge threat to all of your dragons, so we need to funnel either the right or the left side with our Electron. We are going for the right side, and why are we doing that? We're going for the right side because over there is the queen, which means the queen is always a threat because she can lure our dragons somewhere where we do not want them to go. Which means if we can take out the enemy queen early with our Electron, that's even better. So let's take a look how this is going. We're getting rid of the enemy queen early, which means it's really nice pathing. And now it's all about that we're getting our dragons into the base to make sure that they're actually going to the town hall. Which means now we have to keep our heroes on the outside. And as long as they're not breaking into the base, the enemy clan castle should not come out. As soon as the enemy clan castle, the building, is down, we can start with our royal champion. And you guys can see already, we did a really good job on funneling the right side with our Electron. Now it's all about keeping the dragons on track and actually going into the core. Because we have 2 rages on this one, on this army, we can kind of rage early if we're facing an enemy sweeper. What I'm doing over here, I'm freezing the sweeper, enemy scattershot, and the eagle all together. And now, as soon as my dragons are coming closer, we're using the queen and the king to push everything once again back inside. Because, like I said, we want to have the enemy town hall obviously going down. As soon as the clan castle building is dropping, we're starting with my royal champion as well to make sure that our royal champion is supporting the dragons and getting closer inside to get rid of the enemy air defense and other really important things. You see as well the heal spell kept all of my dragons alive, kind of healthy as well, to make sure that we have enough dragons to go through the back end, because like I said, on Town Hall 12 you have so much splash damage around the air attacks with the enemy scatter shots that a heal spell is really, it has a lot of value. Still, our heroes are on the outside with a couple of dragons, but a couple of dragons as well on the inside, which means they're clearing over there the trash or like the inner buildings, and at the same time my dragons and my heroes are on the outside and clearing everything else. I have to use my queen ability to make sure that that she's staying alive, and our dragons are actually going into the core because our heroes stayed alive and cleared the trash. So once again, another ring base is getting wrecked. Even though this is way closer than the last one, I think the attack wasn't as smooth as it could have been. So yeah, I mean, it's a triple. Triple is a triple. Who triples is like always right. That's how we say it, right? So let's take a look at the next base, and this one is going to be, yikes, another ring base. You would have not expected that, right? So let's take a look at the next base, and once again, it's the same story. So on this one, what we're trying to go for is we need once again to go as early as possible into the enemy eagle. That's a really important thing. So what we're doing is, let's try to aim for one of the sweepers. That would be pretty nice. And like I said, the enemy queen is always a really big threat to our dragons, because she would lure the dragons somewhere where I do not want them to go. So once again, we're doing Electron on the side of the enemy queen to make sure that she's actually staying alive. I'm using an archer on the right side, which means like if there's a witch in the clan castle, this means the enemy skeletons are getting lured to the right side because I do not want them to come out. But there's nothing like a witch in there, which means it's super easy. We're taking out everything on the left side, and I know this base is kind of popular. I think this base got used as well by a couple of pro clans in the ESL Cup. So this base is like, a lot of people really like this base, and the big thing about this base is that it's kind of baited that you play an Electron or like an Yeti Blimp or whatever from 6 o'clock. But most of the people are defending that entry, which means like this entry which I'm showing you right now, it's even stronger because no one is normally doing it. But now let's take a look at what we're doing next, because the enemy clan castle is on the left side. We can just use all of our dragons into the bottom of this base, and once again it's all about making sure that our dragons getting the pathing into the town hall. So what we're doing next is obviously raging our dragons up to make sure that they're staying inside of the base, nice and healthy. Next thing, warden ability, raging the core to make sure that our dragons are getting through the enemy town hall really quickly. And then we have once again the heal spell for the back end, using the heal spell on the right side because there's the biggest group of loons. And we still have the royal champion, right? We still have the royal champion. As soon as the enemy town hall, as soon as the enemy clan castle is down, we can use the royal champion, because then the enemy clan castle cannot come out anymore. Enemy clan castle is down. We're starting off with our own royal champion from the 12 o'clock side, and she should take care of the enemy air defense, which is nice. We have to be careful because of the single inferno tower locked in our royal champ. So let's use her ability. She's clearing a couple of things. The most important thing was the enemy air defense at the top, and this means this is going to be another triple. Even though the king and the single inferno tower is really annoying, I have to admit that. But either way, I mean, we had the queen ability still left, and once again, this is another triple. So guys, if you ever had any issues with ring bases, here it is. Here it is how you can easily triple those. And let's take a look at the next base, and let's take a look what we're doing next, because they're not only ring bases. Even though there are a lot of ring bases in Legend, it's not the only base which is out there. So this is another base. So let's take a look at this base, which is super popular in the higher rankings at the moment. A lot of people like to use this base. There are a couple of variations out there. So what are we going for? In a perfect world, I would like to go for the air defense, which is next to the sweeper on the left side. This is like the goal where I would like to go for, because this means we get nice pathing, we get an air defense, obviously, so that should be pretty good, right? So this is what we're going for. So let's use a couple of Coco Loons once again, like I'm always using. And what those loons do as well, they're tanking for the blimp, which means even though, yes, there could be only one Coco Loon, but at the same time, those loons are tanking pretty nicely into the base. And there's a big mistake which I did right now. Like, what I did is I cloned the dragon. I did not deploy the clone spell where my loons would come out, and this means I do not get too much value. So this opening is super bad for me. Let's try and save this one. So what we're doing next is obviously funneling my heroes, and what I'm doing with that is I'm starting at 12 with my dragons, Coco Loon, and then at the same time my Bear Dragon on the left side is funneling the main squad into that later on. Obviously I'm super lucky, like always with Black Mines. I don't know, it's super annoying, this feature, but either way. Next thing what we're doing, we're dropping our heroes to make sure that everything is staying inside the base and staying healthy. And even though we're pushing against a sweeper, we have a freeze and we have obviously a lot of rages. So like 2 rages is normally super, like it's super easy to get into the enemy base, even though if there's a sweeper on you. So Warden ability was perfect. Dragons are spreading a little bit. Now we still have the Royal Champion to make sure that we're getting the defenses back. And if I'm completely honest, I should have deployed the Royal Champion already. But either way, I'm trying to find the perfect spot where to use the heal or the freeze or whatever. Maybe I should have healed already. I'm using the heal right now. My own queen is still on the outside, still alive. Trying to freeze the enemy queen, but I don't know. I missed her by 1 tile or something like that. I don't know. Next thing what I'm doing, I'm dropping the Royal Champ on the right side. I should have dropped already the Royal Champ by a long time ago on the left side to take care of both air defenses. But well, that didn't work. So what I'm doing right now is trying to obviously recover whatever I can and get as many percentage as I can. Because like I said, as soon as your opener fails, that's a bad thing about the strategy. Or like the only bad thing about the strategy I feel like is as soon as your opener fails, you have to somehow save everything. Because on my part, the opener failed. Like it did not clone the loons, it messed up completely. And what this did is it messed up my attack. But even though I messed up the attack, take a look at how many percentage we will get. It's crazy. Like we are already at 84%, and one of my dragons is still alive, and there's not too many defenses out there which can target my dragon. Only the Tesla and the Archtower, which means he has really nice access to them. So this means 86%. If the dragon can get rid of the Archtower, it means even more percentage. So 87, which one is going to be the next one? 88%, and the dragon is still alive. So it's going to be around 90%, even though we failed the entry. And I still want to show you guys one fail attack because, well, sometimes you fail with armies. That's how it works, right? But it's all about how bad are those fails. Like, if I fail an attack and it's going to be a 90% 2-star, who cares? Like, come on. But let's take a look at the next base. And I don't know, I'm always facing this base. I don't know why people are using this, but I'm kidding. Either way, let's try this let's try this base with this dragon army. So I know how to beat this base with hybrid. Like I attacked this base already many times with Queen Charge hybrid, but for me this is the first time attacking this base with, well, drag clone. So let's see how this works. What I'm trying to do is I'm using a Electron, sorry, to take care of the Inferno Tower compartment, and what this does, it creates kind of nice pathing for me. So next thing what I'm going to do is using all of my dragons from the 6 o'clock corner. Obviously, I'm soaking up a couple of Black Mines as well, so that's nice. Warden in behind. Loons are getting into the Town Hall. We have a couple more rages, using the rage early on. Warden ability early as well, as soon as he's catching up right now. And the only thing which is annoying right now is we're facing 2 sweepers. That's why I'm freezing that. So that shouldn't be any problem to get deeper into the base. And once again, as soon as the enemy clan castle is going down, we can start with our heroes, because we know enemy clan castle won't come out. Like, that's how it works with this strategy. So what I'm going to do next is I'm using my spells on everything, like the heal spell to keep everything alive. And now they're getting into the danger zone in between of the 2 scatter shots. Maybe I should have saved a little bit, but either way, maybe I should have saved the freeze. That would have been nice for the enemy queen. But we have still a couple of dragons still alive. We have our Royal Champion now coming in. I don't know 100% if that was the right choice to go with the Royal Champion over there, because my queen would have taken that out either way. And what I should have done is probably use her on the right side to get the enemy air defense. But either way, I didn't really got too much value. What I'm doing now is I'm using the Baby Dragon to get the ground expo down to save my queen, using the queen ability to make sure that she's staying alive. And now it's getting really close because, like I said, I completely messed up my royal champion. Like, she got no value at all. So let's try and save this one because it's getting really close. Like, my heroes are not having too much HP. My Baby Dragon is getting not his ability because of the Warden. But yeah, either way, we get the ground expo, only the air defense left, and this means this is going to be another triple. I hope you guys liked today's video. Let me know what you guys think about this army, and I will see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Until then, see you guys, and bye bye.